What's up, everybody? We're back. Another new episode of the Last Way Podcast. If you're new here, we go into topics like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, conspiracies, and pretty much everything in, on, or around the paranormal. Today I'm joined by my part-time co-host, Buster.
Yeah, boy.
He's back for another round since we can't seem to stay on one single topic for more than an episode. we get off on tangents and we do what we do and we keep it rolling. But today we're just gonna have a freestyle chat a little bit later on, but we're gonna start out just on the topic of aliens, just a general topic. Because if you watch the last episode, we kind of finished and almost got on another tangent talking about aliens. And I noticed I don't think we've really delved into the topic of aliens much between the two of us. It's more usually dreams and psychic and occult stuff. So what are your feelings on aliens, Buster, sir?
I mean, your typical alien, Martian, man from space. Like, I don't know. Like, it's.
But you think that's
depends on your definition of alien, I guess.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the aliens that we're told of, the green men from space, the gray men from space with the UFO saucers that abduct cows and random people. What do you think about that? The general idea of the aliens that we have. Do you think they're out there? Do you think they're here to help us, to hurt us? Do you think they're real?
I mean, it's something. Like, real is kind of subjective.
Right.
But,
I would agree.
I don't know. It's weird, man, because I have mixed feelings about aliens, because it really depends on what your definition of an alien is.
Yeah.
Because when I look at alien, like, from what I understand, it's not even, like, an alien is just a term.
Right.
It's the term for what we would formerly have known as an angel or a demon.
Possible.
Or even perhaps like the Olympians.
Yeah.
Like that next level, that next generation closer to the source code.
Right.
Entity.
Yeah.
Like in Elden Ring, all the bosses that you have to fight are these like demigods.
Yeah.
And lords that oversee everything. They just so happen to be, of course, like the ruling the world.
Yeah.
That class, the elite class.
If you don't know what Elden Ring is, it's a very popular video game where you kill things. It's very fun. It's medieval style. But yeah, the main baddies, the main bosses are they're like they stole a piece of the shard or something like that. So they're basically like demigods.
Yeah, the Elden Ring was broken into pieces, and all these different lords have the different pieces.
Yeah. So they're like that in between, and that motif is one we've dealt with for thousands of years. The giants and the Nephilim. I mean, that's basically what they are, kind of represented in that story. Is they're the ones that are, they came to Earth to do the destruction. They're almost like that, or even the Titans, or something along those lines.
So how far away from Greek mythology is the Book of Enoch?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because who wrote the Book of Enoch? Was it Enoch?
Right.
Was it an account? It was a poem. Who wrote it? Was it a Grecian? Because it would seem like it would be either from the Aramaics, or the Hebrews, or the Greek.
Well, I think I could be wrong, but I think Enoch was supposedly Moses's grandfather, uncle, something along those. He's connected to somebody, but again,
Noah.
Noah's
grandfather.
Right. And again, you have to kind of lend credence to the fact that was taken out of the main story and decide, So I don't know. I mean, again, that could be It's called the greatest story. It's the greatest story ever told. But he does talk about going up into a city and seeing all these things and seeing from Earth from above. He talks about going in up into things. Enoch does. So I mean, I think Ancient Aliens, especially the TV show's been on forever, but I think the general idea is probably like so. It's either aliens have come here in the past and have helped us, or a more likely scenario is that there was a civilization here long before us currently, like 100,000 years, even a million. Say we get about to this point, and then we start nuking each other. And if you and the thought behind that for me is if we're paranormal fans here. If you watch a ghost show where they go into an abandoned asylum that shut down in like 1960 something, 70 something, it's like collapsing in on itself in less than 100 years. Imagine 1,000 years from now. None of these buildings will likely be standing.
They'll be probably mud flooded.
Yeah, especially but with what we build them out of now.
Right.
The glass will be gone. The steel will likely be degraded and rusted. Yeah. I mean, and then 100,000 years on top of that, the only thing that will be remaining is stone, and even it will be eroded beyond likely comprehension. And that's what we see. We see erosion. Like on the Sphinx has water erosion. That doesn't make any sense. How would that be if it's not hundreds of thousands of years old?
If it's in the desert, man.
Right. So, I mean, you'd have to go back at least to the last pole shift. Who knows when that officially... I can't... that may be an actual findable fact. I don't have that one on me. But you'd have to go back to the last pole shift for that to even have been near water. Even hypothetically. So... I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to think that we either did it with stone chisels that they think we have, like or we didn't do it with help.
The stoned monkey or the stoned ape theory.
Yeah, I mean we were very well past that, but if you look at places like Pumapunku and all these crazy places in South America, and where like the stones are like together. And you can't even fit like pieces of paper for them. It's like completely right cut edges. I mean, beautifully cut stones. Like I don't know anybody that could do that right now with like a chisel. Even if you go back to as recent as where they were making statues for Rome and Greece, like the elaborate, structure of these seems divinely in tune.
They say like, it's either like they were just that damn good at them chiseling, a hammer chisel, or like they had some kind of like machine, like an organic 3D printer.
Yeah, or is you have to have something.
Alchemy.
Yeah, alchemy. A knowledge of some kind, some type of ability. I mean, I know you can obviously train and work, and I know there probably wasn't much to do back then, in any of these times except work your craft and survive. But still, it just seems so crazy. And I think there was some kind of intervention from somewhere, or we are way older than we have been told. That would be where I stand.
Or younger.
Or maybe we're very younger. So in what we were watching a minute ago, between you and I, we were watching. I think I called it out on the last episode. This guy Wendigoon, the YouTube, he's got a really long series of conspiracy stuff. But shoot, what were we just talking about? See, we get off on tangents. What were you just talking about?
Oh gosh! Don't do this to me.
We get off on the tangents. Okay.
Don't do this to me.
Anyway, all right. So we're watching this thing with conspiracies, and it's talking about some alien stuff, but it's also talking about transdimensional beings and that everything that goes in with that. So, oh, and it's storming again outside, bro. I've told you before. Every time it's CERN, it has stormed nearly every day since CERN. But anyway, we get off topic. So let's bring it back to aliens. I can't believe it's only been 10 minutes on this.
That's episode. Ridiculous, man. We've been going through it, dude.
Yeah, but ancient aliens, I think we for sure had help.
Yeah, like the stoned ape theory, man. It's like you say like they came here and they saw this early man, this humanoid, this bipedal damn critter that may be useful. I mean, if you're getting into that Anunnaki theory, and then they raise its intelligence, or quote unquote, like Prometheus came down and like gave them consciousness, gave them the light of consciousness and self-awareness, or the birth of consciousness, like the Big Bang, or whatever, or something.
Yeah.
And then they come back, like in however many thousands of years, and then they check out and see what their creation has done.
Yeah, they come and check back in. I think that's definitely possible.
That seems to be the damn motif.
Yeah, it seems to be what happens. They just come back every now and then, and that certainly could be possible. It could be that there's some people even say like the gray aliens are us from the future, and that's just what we've like evolved into because of the Earth.
And they're observing us from another time.
Yeah, they're just like coming back from another time. But I don't know. Aliens is such a broad thing. I mean, I believe I've seen UFOs. I believe that there is something that we're not being told that exists, and it would almost seem like they're keeping us. Well, obviously they're keeping us from knowing, but why? Why would they keep us from something that's trying to get our attention? And if something is that advanced to come here from allegedly, across the stars, they would be advanced enough to come in here and just laser us and likely be done with us. So why are they constantly trying to get here? And then we are pushing the narrative of fear and, we can't trust them. We don't know their motives. We don't know why they're coming here.
So, yeah, I mean, I've heard that
unidentified
trying to slowly take over us. Like, remember, they live.
Well, yeah, I mean, you do have that part of it too. And I mean, that is a whole thing by itself, because you've got the, I mean, they live. You've got the reptilians and all that shenanigans that gets really deep into that. That's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Yeah, so I can't remember what the movie was exactly by the name, but the premise was they were slowly taking over people's bodies, and they were invading through their consciousness and stuff, and eventually it got started taking over the world, and then they ended up stopping it somehow. But you don't want to ruin the movie, but it was pretty cool how they were invading like that. But it makes sense.
Yeah,
it does make sense, because if you look around and if you're awake, you're awake. If you're not, you're not. And you can just almost tell. So just keep your eyes peeled and make sure you're thinking with your third eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think so. That aliens could be real. Okay, they could be. There's also a field of thought that they are trans-dimensional beings, which I think makes it makes just as much sense.
Or they live on one of the far continents.
Yeah, they live beyond the ice wall or the hollow earth, which wholeheartedly think. I used to be the earth is flat. I'm still I like that one just because of the discussions it brings up. Honestly, it gets me a lot of hate.
Of course.
But, yeah, because people are they refuse to think, even question their own nature.
I mean, but regardless, you can question your nature of reality any way you see fit, but by all means do it.
Yeah, do something. Just think for 2 seconds.
No, the vanishing point is what had me sold.
Yeah.
Like, cause like it's all what it our idea of flat is all based off of perception, right? So in to mimic that phenomena in art, they have this thing called the vanishing point, which everything using this mathematical code draws to this point where it is beyond, it intersects. Yeah, like in the mathematical code, they intersect, and that's where it's beyond the point of perception.
Completely changed history of art when it was discovered. Yeah,
and it's prominent even into our perceptions through our senses, our interpretation of the third dimension. So that's why we must, be better than that.
Yeah, try to think outside the box, but.
And that's what I think that may even be why, like the aliens would have tried to seed us and create us like this, just to, like I watched the shit out of Prometheus last night, and like there's a lot of symbolism in there, and it was really, really very intriguing. But if you haven't seen it, Alien, Prometheus, Covenant, that's all the stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's like and they use, like, you used the term seeding, but that's what it is, because like with Prometheus, I think it was like I think it's a fungal thing is what it starts out as, like on the spores.
Yeah, and then like the seeding, like the stoned ape, like the spores, like it was like it started with like a seed, like a fungo, like because fungus, mushrooms, mycelium, like it's like a mind of its own. It's a high mind of its own. Yeah, and I'm well aware, like Delaware, man.
Yeah, they say that. Well, it's like if you talk to shamans in, like, the jungle, it's always, how did you know this plant killed you? The plants told us. Like they told us that that's what it does. So I mean, that's why you have instances like with DMT, mushrooms, ayahuasca, where people are almost seeing the truth and seeing what's really there, and that's why people see, the clockwork elves or whatever they call them, and
machine elves.
Yeah, the machine elves. It's like another dimension. I know there's a couple interesting stories, just from various places, podcasts, and reading UFO books and stuff. There was one of this lady, and she was with four of her friends, or three of her friends, and she was driving along this highway at nighttime. And, she's just driving along, all of a sudden, you get your cliche, your radio's messing up, lights are flickering or whatever. And then she just blacks out for a second. They're just driving on this highway. And then next thing she knows, she's opening her eyes, and she's outside of the car from above, looking down. And she can see, as she's going up, she can see her body sitting in the passenger seat and the other passengers' bodies in the seats. But they are all being carried, beamed out of their car and into this vessel, into this ship. And I can't remember her details, but she, vaguely remembered what was inside. And I want to say it wasn't like one of those horrific probing accidents, but it was, what caught me was the fact that she saw the car driving on down the road. And that to me was pretty crazy. That means they took them out of, either they took that connection that we talked about on the last episode, that dual connection, and they plucked it out and brought it onto their ship in like a different dimension type kind of thing.
Like parallel.
Yeah, like a parallel dimension. And because that's what some people say that they do, is they create a bubble in another dimension. They come in and do what they need to do, and they leave. I have no idea. That sounds absurd and scientific.
I can see it.
But the whole thing with that story that really caught me was the fact that explains missing time. Like, whenever you feel like you just check out, you could have just been checked out. Like, people that experience alien abductions, they say the missing time thing. Well, they say that, like, all of a sudden we arrived at grandma's house 2 hours early. We'd feel like, well, I'm in the car in 10 minutes. That explains it. If you're, whatever this is, your soul, so to speak, is taken out, and then you're still going somehow, you arrive somewhere, and your consciousness hasn't even been there.
Right.
That, not the alien part, that's crazy, but that part, for her to describe that, that was kind of a pointless thing to even come up with, if it wasn't real.
Right.
And that to me was crazy. It was like they took your, and that's what the scary part is. If they can just come in and just pluck it out, then they can do it anytime.
Yeah. And like, did you ever watch the Adjustment Bureau?
Is that the one with oh gosh, Matt Dillon? Is that his name?
Matt Dillon.
I think so. It's where is that the Angels? Are the Angels in that one? They can stop time and stuff, and they fix things. Matt Damon, not Matt Dillon. Yeah, it's Matt Damon.
Damon. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bonkers, man. Like the way they it's the Adjustment Bureau, true story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know. Like
you know, I'm saying like how they can they pause shit and like fix stuff and like go back and like let it play and stuff.
Hey.
But it's funny. You remember a minute ago when we just like got off on a tangent and completely forgot what we were talking about?
They came in. We was getting too close to something.
And then it was just like whoa.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first. It wasn't us. It wasn't us forgetting what we were talking about. It was the Adjustment Bureau. They came in. We were getting too close to the source, brother. That's what it was.
I mean, I wouldn't be damn fucking surprised at this point.
Yeah, we do talk about a lot of things. All right, so I don't know what aliens are. You know, there's a lot of cool stories.
The Fourth Kind.
Man, that was a gnarly movie. Scary. That is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life. Even though I knew it wasn't real,
it still had me shaking.
Man, it is naturally a shook movie.
Like when she got was like hovering there, like, and they was speaking Sumerian.
Yes,
that was
because that's too
chilling.
close.
That was chilling.
Yeah, that was like
literally like on the money.
Yeah,
and it had me fucked.
Yeah, that movie will sit with you for a long time. It's like. Phew.
It's one of those movies I still haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah. You only got to watch it once. Yeah.
I remember it like it happened yesterday because of how traumatic it was.
Yes. It sticks with you.
But it's like the whole Sumerian
goes
connection.
Back to the ancient aliens.
Yeah, the Sumerian connection there, and he said like, "I am God."
Yeah.
Like that was like. That was brutal, dude.
Let me blow your mind with this. How about the Mayans? The Mayans or Aztecs
spaceman.
Yeah, they're aliens.
Yeah.
They left.
Remember the guy in the spacesuit?
Yeah.
The rocket ship. Like just like Prometheus.
Yep.
Like the thing went around him like that.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
Like that right there had me on the edge of my seat last night.
Shoot. That hey. I don't know. It could be Mayans coming back. It could be. That's another one. It's just one of those questions.
Like Quetzalcoatl will come to return.
It could be Quetzalcoatl. It could be Odin could come back, and they could have thought he was an alien. It could be Jesus. It could be whatever is sealed in that moon of Jupiter or whatever it is. It looks like it's got a bulge around the middle, like it was sealed together. Who knows?
You're going to show me that.
I will. I'll show it to you. It's one of the moons. It looks like it's got a ridge all the way around the middle. It looks like it was like an egg put together. Yeah, it's going crazy.
That's bonkers, man. Like there's so many mysteries out there.
Yeah, every time we look out there, it's a new one. And again, I don't know what aliens are. Again, I think there's probably multiple ones, and I think there are some that feed off of us, whether spiritually or actually. And there's probably some that are trying to help us. I would imagine. You know.
Yeah, like I heard that there's this galactic federation.
Yeah,
it's
it could be
bonkers as it sounds.
They're gonna come down and be like, "We now initiate Earth into the Galactic Federation. You just have to get rid of all your politicians." Bye. Done. We're done. We're done.
Call me stupid, but that sounds kind of cool, man.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that pretty much concludes us on aliens. I know we were gonna have just a freestyle chat. What's on your mind? What's on your mind in the paranormal right now?
Oh man, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm still getting over these dreams, man. Like one night I had a dream and I was like right up the road from my house, like sitting in front of my grandma's house when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And it was me and my buddy, and it was like dark, like real dark out there. And all I remember is I was sitting there, and in the corner of my eye, I caught like what looked like a gray alien in like a hood over top of it, like right over here, looking down at me. And yeah, I felt like it reached toward me, and I looked up, and I said, "In the name of Christ, be gone." And you know, they fear the name of the Lord.
Yeah.
And then that's all I remember. But it was weird that I would remember that.
Yeah, you know, they actually say that too. In some reports of people getting abducted, they say that if you use it for some reason, they don't know why, but they say it works. Yeah, they say it's it works. They say that you can use that. So that's pretty interesting. Dreams are always extremely interesting. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the Death Star. So if you want to look this up, it's and I'll screenshot this and put it on our Facebook page. It's Iapetus. I don't know how to say that correctly. It's a Greek name. Iapetus, and it's one of Saturn's moons. Look at that Death Star.
Oh wow!
It's got a ridge around the whole middle of it, like it was placed together.
Lepidus.
Yeah, I think it's Iapetus. But yeah, it looks like a big egg. Like a big, well, I mean, it looks like a meatball, like all planets do.
That's wild, man. Bonkers, of course.
So wild tangent. Let me blow your mind real fast. I don't know if I've talked to you about this yet, but on one of these videos, they were talking about what if the rapture has already happened, and it happened the moment Jesus went, because the Shroud of Turin, when he evaporated or he ascended, it happened at that moment. Now, that would mean that God has been gone since then, and that would make perfect sense as to where we are as a civilization at that point.
There's no telling.
And there's
Like,
also
you remember the Left Behind series?
Yeah. But it wouldn't have been nearly as noticeable or reported in his time as it would be today.
Right.
It would have just happened. I mean, who knows who would have been gone? You know, it could have been a couple Europeans, a lot of Romans, maybe, and I mean, they could have vanished.
That's like,
so I mean, that
Thanos just snapping his fingers and then
they're all gone. So
Half
I mean, when I was told that, and it kind of rang something, you know, with me, like we've talked about before, like you just like, oh, it struck a chord in, you know, inside, and you just like there might be more to that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, that struck me, and I told another person that, and they were like, oh, you better stop, because they were getting that feeling too.
Which one was this?
That's the one about like if the rapture's already happened.
Yeah, like it just seems like it's way too damn feasible.
Yeah, because that would have been, you theoretically would have had other civilizations at that time. So you would have already had the basis for other civilizations, or maybe, yeah. So I mean, you would have already had the basis for gods and different things, and because the Israelites or whatever before the tribes there before Yahweh, the great demon, came along, they had like 40 gods. I mean, if you look at the Wikipedia page, it's like 2 pages.
That's like the whole Olympian list.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like
a pantheon of different things.
The Egyptians.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them. Like whatever you want to associate it with, there's always a pantheon.
Yeah.
Except for the Abrahamic religion.
Yeah, it's always, and even then you have I don't know why they call it the Trinity. It's a pantheon. Doesn't pantheon mean many? I mean, it's 3. It's not 2.
Remember, it's Elohim.
Yeah, God is with us, or something like that.
They.
Yeah. Well, see, and now what Elon Musk said? He didn't say AI is dangerous. He said they are dangerous.
Yeah,
I mean,
boom,
booyah!
This shit is like bonkers, man.
The Big Bang
is the birth of consciousness.
The birth of consciousness.
Flame of consciousness.
We are working our way around. I think, we're on the verge of something.
We are at this precipice at the end of our civilization, and we're at the next eon in the evolution of consciousness. I mean, something has to give.
Yeah, we can't continue as we are.
I feel like I'm gonna burst.
Yeah, that's the way a lot of people. That's exactly how I feel.
Like I've been feeling like I'm gonna burst for the longest time, and like something is coming to a head.
Yeah, that's exactly what people are feeling. They're feeling. It's not even like anxiety. It's like you said, it's like you're on this edge, and you're like psyching yourself up because you know something's coming. Yeah, I completely understand. I think a lot of people do. A lot of people could probably sympathize with that, but who knows? But again, we can't continue mentally, consciously as a species at this rate, like the rate of what we live at, with just things happening in the data stream that we're mired down in. And
remember what was the 100th monkey?
The 100th monkey rule.
100th monkey rule, I believe, or something like that. After the 100 monkey learns something, like it becomes a part of the collective.
Yeah.
So like if we raise our vibrations to the point of like the tipping point, like it'll just fruition. Boom.
I think skeptically, I want to hope that we're almost there. Like I want to hope that that's what's coming. Because we talked about it before, like all the people on TikTok.
Because what's the point of the Schumann resonance going up?
Yeah, I mean
what's the point of the flares?
These damn solar flares, bro. I'm like a guy on the side of the road with a sign. Something is up with that. I don't know if it's not flares, but if solar flares are happening, listen to me, everybody. I'm not a scientist, but I have common sense. Never in my life have I read stories about solar flares happening like once a month, and then once every other week, and then once a week. And I would bet. I'll bet you a gentleman's bet right now. You could be Buster. You could be my witness. If I turn this to news, on the news feed, there's going to be a solar flare thing. Boom. Right there on the edge.
Wow.
Warning. Solar storms coming.
Good thing I didn't bet against you.
Yeah, good thing. I told you, it's every day. It's a solar storm, a solar flare. Why is Earth now suddenly spinning faster than it ever has?
I mean, like, how do we know any of that's even credible?
Yeah, that's completely true.
These are just witless banter, damn sprayed out in the wind, and somebody caught it, and then all of a sudden it becomes believable.
That's true.
I mean, literally.
Making tulpas.
Yeah.
We keep thinking about things and we bring them into fruition. Manifesting.
So people are out here just spelling into the wind.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Could be, who knows? It could be anything. We could be going anywhere. Who knows what will happen tomorrow? We got to just do the best we can for today and hope for the best.
Oh, man. Well, we got this charcuterie party in our near future.
Yep.
And it is going to rock the socks.
Listen, if anyone listens to this, I'm saying like it's going to be our last one ever. If anyone hears this, have yourself a charcuterie party. You deserve it. You've earned it.
You're king.
Go get you some meats and cheeses and some crackers and some friends. And you have a gathering, because that's what it's about. It's about the people.
It's about the conversation piece.
That's right. It's about the gathering of the people together.
Fellowship, man.
Every major decision in history started with people gathering. So you can come to eat, or you can come to gather and come up with a plan to rule the world. Whatever.
In some musty ass basement.
Just do it over charcuterie. That's all you need. All right, we're probably gonna end that one right there. I think we're pretty much. This is like our third episode for today. I want to thank anybody for listening and for joining us. Like and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook. Thank Buster for joining me again today.
Oh yeah, I commend thee, sir.
All right, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.